Dear friends, I am Father Mandra and I warmly welcome you to Bodhini, the Neural Chapel, also known as a BNC, a sacred space where the timeless teachings of Jesus Christ meet the profound insights of modern neuroscience. Today, in this first lesson of Contemplative Bible Study, CBS, we will explore one of the foundational parables of Jesus, the parable of the sower, found in the Gospel of Matthew chapter 13, 1-9. Before we read, let's place this parable within the existential and sociological realities that surround us. We live in a world marked by contradictions and disparities, rich and poor, black and white, strong and weak, educated and uneducated, privileged and underprivileged. We see divisions of class, caste, culture, and opportunity. These realities prompt deep questions. Who is responsible for the state of the world? If God is loving, why allow such inequality? Every person bears God's image. Why do lives unfold so differently? Holding these questions in our hearts, let's now turn to the parable itself, so we may see how the story of the sower speaks to our world, our lives, and the mysteries of existence. Gospel of Matthew chapter 13, 1-9. That same day Jesus went out of the house and sat beside the sea. Such a great crowd gathered around him that he got into a boat and sat there, while the whole crowd stood on the beach. And he said to them many things in parables, saying, Listen, a sower went out to sow, and as he sowed, some seeds fell on a path, and the birds came and ate them up. Other seeds fell on rocky ground, where they did not have much soil. They sprang up quickly, since they had no depth of soil. But when the sun rose, they were scorched, and since they had no root, they withered away. Other seeds fell among thorns, and the thorns grew up and choked them. Other seeds fell on good soil and brought forth grain, some 100-fold, some 60, some 30. If you have ears, hear. Dear friends, this parable is far more than an agricultural story. On the surface, it describes a farmer sowing seeds in different soils, a scene familiar to the people of Galilee. Yet beneath this simplicity lies a universal principle, a truth that speaks to creation itself, to consciousness, and to civilization. It is a cosmic metaphor of existential distribution. It is cosmic because it reveals how divine life flows through all existence. It is a metaphor because it uses visible images, the sower, the seed, and the soil, to unveil invisible realities, divine action, human condition, and existential disparity. And it is about distribution because it shows how one divine essence is expressed differently across the varied context of being. To unfold the inner meaning of this cosmic metaphor, let's now look closely at its three symbols: the sower, the seed, and the soil. The sower. To whom does the sower represent? Is he just a farmer, or the image of divine consciousness itself? The sower represents divine consciousness, God, the eternal giver of life. He scatters the seeds everywhere, on the path, on rocky soil, among thorns, and on fertile ground. Jesus is not portraying a careless farmer, but revealing a cosmic principle. God gives impartially. Divine grace is never selective. The same sun shines on the just and the unjust. The same rain falls on every field. The SOWER, therefore, embodies the rhythm of the universe, a continuous self-giving flow through which life and being are sustained. God's act of sowing is not a moment in time, but a perpetual movement of love, scattering possibilities across all planes of existence. The seed. What do the seeds represent? The seed symbolizes the human person, or more profoundly, the divine essence within every being. Each seed is identical in origin and potential. It carries the same sacred code of fruitfulness, creativity, and consciousness. This represents ontological equality. All life springs from one source. All consciousness shares one spark. Every soul bears the image of God. From a neuroscientific perspective, the same truth holds. Every human brain begins with similar neural potential, plastic, adaptable, capable of compassion, creativity, and contemplation. Yet, how this potential unfolds depends on the environment in which it is planted, on love, nurture, culture, and opportunity. Thus, the seed is a microcosm of divinity, a compressed code of the infinite, awaiting favorable conditions to unfold in the finite. The soil. What does the soil represent? If the SOWER reveals divine consciousness and the seed divine essence, then the soil reflects the conditions of existence, the environment into which life is sown. But the soil varies: depth, texture, fertility. The soil represents the existential conditions, family, society, economy, culture, and even neural or emotional terrain. It mirrors the diversity of environments into which life is born. Having reflected on the SOWER, the seed, and the soil, we now confront a profound truth. Existence is unequal, not in essence, but in condition. Each seed is divine, yet each soil is different, which explains the variety of human outcomes. One humanity, but many contexts of becoming. This is cosmic paradox. If the same SOWER scatters the same seed, why do outcomes differ so vastly? Equality in essence, inequality in existence. All seeds carry the same divine origin, yet soils differ in capacity. The divine never stops sowing, but the world responds variably. From a spiritual standpoint, this calls us to the greatness to recognize each other, to see the divine seed in every being, even where it seems dormant or hidden. When we see one another in this light, judgment dissolves and compassion arises naturally. The SOWER continues. Life flows. Even the hardest ground can bloom when touched by awareness. Having seen the SOWER's generosity, the seed's divine essence, and the diversity of soils, And having reflected on the cosmic paradox, we are now invited to turn inward. What does this mean for my life? On what soil am I planted? How do I respond to the environment around me? Dear friends, contemplation becomes participation in the divine act of sowing, observing, understanding, and awakening life within ourselves and others. The parable of the sower is a cosmic metaphor of existential distribution. One divine essence is scattered across unequal grounds, revealing both the generosity of God and the inequalities of the world. Every human carries the same spark of life, yet environments shape how that potential unfolds. Life is given freely. Growth depends on the ground. Same seeds flourish, others struggle. This understanding calls us to awaken the greatness, to recognize each other, to see the divine seed in every being, cultivate compassion, and participate consciously in the unfolding of life, knowing that the divine continues to sow everywhere, even where growth seems impossible. Dear friends, in our next lesson, we will explore the seeds that fell on the path, the first of the three soils, where the seed lost its life. Let's journey deeper into these mysteries in lesson 2. Until then, remain awake to the sower's ceaseless gift of life. Thank you.